with Secure Money. I'm Rebecca Powers. So happy to be with you again this week. Of course, the show is brought to you by Secure Money Advisors and the founder of Secure Money Advisors, Brian Quaranta. And Brian, you started this because you used to work for a big box retailer.
Yeah. Yep.
You watched people losing their money. Mm-hmm. You watched feeling like you were in a box and could only sell certain products, right?
Right.
When we talk about the stock market now, I think people need to understand they don't need to be all in stocks and bonds.
Right, correct.
Because it is risky.
Yeah.
What's the history
Yeah.
of kind of the stock market? It's been up lately, but now it's all going down.
Yeah. Well, it's been good for a long time, and it got easy. I mean, look, when you start reading about young kids, starting to trade their college tuition money, and they're making money, usually it's a good sign that there's probably a correction coming.
Yeah.
These up markets don't last forever. They eventually correct themselves. And
that's what we're seeing right now.
That's what we're seeing right now.
Big correction.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you've got time, if you got 15, 20 years in front of you, you're probably not as worried.
Sure.
But for those that were 5 years out from retirement or retired, it's scary, especially if they kept a large portion of their money at risk, which is never a good idea to do. I mean, risk is really for those that are trying to get to where the retiree is.
Gotcha.
Once you've accumulated the money that you have, you're probably better off taking more of a sure thing than a maybe, right?
Exactly.
And so what a lot of people have to understand is that they move into retirement, it really becomes about protecting and securing that money so that it can do its primary function, which is most likely going to be for most people, provide them with additional monthly income where they need to replace the paycheck because they're no longer going to work. They no longer have to trade their time for money, but their money needs to be working for them. And that's the most important thing, is that how are you going to get it to start working for you, paying you on a monthly basis, but more importantly, not run out of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in 1978, I think a lot would agree, it's kind of the biggest trick ever played on the American working force. They got rid of pensions. So companies didn't have to give you pensions anymore.
Right.
So unless, I know some of your clients are maybe teachers or work at the railroad, they may have pensions, but it's very rare. So now the onus is on us, the regular not knowing person, to do our own pension, and they call that the 401k. How's that been working?
Yeah, I call that the yo-yo retirement plan. That's called you're on your own.
I'm going to write that down.
You need to figure out how you're going to make it happen.
It's ridiculous. Good luck.
Yeah, and unfortunately, my industry has done a terrible job educating people on actually how to do this, because my industry still thinks it's a good idea to risk 100% of your money.
Do they do it?
No, a lot of them,
exactly.
a lot of them don't. I always say, if you go to most of these individuals and you say, how much of this do you own that you're recommending? A lot of them don't, right? It's a lot easier to risk somebody else's money, especially if you get paid a commission to do it.
Exactly.
Right? It's a lot easier to say to somebody, don't worry about it, hang in there, you're in it for the long haul, especially when it's not your money, right? But, you ask most of these people, how much of this do you own? I walk the talk, right? Because there are basic fundamentals. If you do your reading and you do your research, as I have, and I've read book after book after book on proper retirement planning, so many great authors, so many talented economists that I've read over the years, and a lot of them will always come back to one fundamental, and that is, as you approach retirement, you better be protecting a portion of your money, because a portion of your money is going to need to provide you with some type of income.
So when you wrote your book, I think, was that your common goal? That was your 100% goal, make it simple, easy to understand. You read all these economists' books this thick, and you kind of crunched it down into easy to understand.
Yeah, and a lot of it came from practice too, right? Like, so I've always been one to question things.
Yeah.
And so when I was at the big box retailers and I was being given, a mentorship on what to do and how to do it, and I saw that stuff not working out, and I write about this in my book, but I'll tell this story. I can remember at my first firm that I was with, it was probably my first couple weeks on the job, and they had me answering the phones. Now, at the time, the tech bubble had just bursted, right? So people were losing money, And I sit down and I'm taking these phone calls coming in, and I take a call from a guy that's pretty upset. He wants to get out of the market. He's just lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to tell him, right? So
That's why they wanted you to answer, so you could hear the cursing and they didn't have to.
Yeah, well, most of the advisors are hiding under their desk, right? So I take the call. I don't know what to say, so I go find the advisor, and I said, listen, you got a client on the line. He wants to sell. He wants to get out. He doesn't want in the market anymore. So the advisor looks at me and says, Brian, you're going to have to learn that we don't sell, right? We hang in there. So you need to get back on the phone and let him know not to worry about anything, to just hang in there, that he's in it for the long haul.
Wow.
So being a young guy, right, not knowing a lot, right, being mentored, I don't know what's right or wrong at this point. Guess what I do? I go back to the phone and I tell this guy, listen, don't worry about it. Hang in there. You're in it for the long haul. And what he said to me next truly changed my life.
Really?
He said, Brian, I'm 75 years old.
Aww.
How much damn long haul do you think I've got left? Aww. And you know what? He was 100% right. He was 100% right, because at the end of the day, he is more concerned at 75 years old about not losing money than making money. But yet, the advisor continued to keep him in a position to where he could lose money, right? And that's not the way that you want to approach it. Now, everybody has a different tolerance for risk, right? I meet people all the time that are in their 70s, but they're more do-it-yourselfers. They like this to invest in the market. They understand the volatility of the market. They're okay with taking the risk. But even those guys don't have 100% of their money at risk.
Exactly.
They always keep what we call dry powder on the sideline. Now, that's an industry term, right? Okay. Especially for the do-it-yourselfer community. Dry powder is what we keep on the outside, which is just cash, so that when the market goes down, guess what we have? Money to buy in. The average person doesn't have that, because they've got everything invested. So when the market goes down, there is no dry powder or extra money to put in, right? This is why when you're working, it's kind of okay for you to take risk, during your working years as you're building up to retirement, because every time you get paid, you have money going in. So the market might be up here, it might be down here, but you're always buying in. It's called dollar cost averaging, right? Okay. So even the professionals don't keep 100% of their money in the market. They keep money on the sidelines so that when there's stuff on sale, they have money to buy. The average person, when they're down, they're down. They've got no way of offsetting that loss because they have no money to put in, especially retiree.
Exactly. And so back to that story you were telling, you're a young man and you have to go back and tell this poor guy that. Yeah. Like, it literally feels bad, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it really reinforces the fact that with a big box retailer, you're just an A, B, C, or D. Did that guy even say, oh, which one of my clients is upset? How old is he? Did he even bother to ask that? Because we're just an A, B, C, or D, a cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's a blanket approach, right? It's not really customized to the individual. Everybody's pretty much got the same investments. I mean, there are box stores here locally that if somebody comes in, I can pretty much tell you without looking at their statement what they're going to own.
Really?
Right? Yeah. I mean,
You're like, oh, I'm psychic. Let's see. It's going to be Vanguard. No.
Yeah, I mean, you just know it's going to be this, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just everything today needs to be a little bit more customized. You need to have more of a hands-on approach. You have to have an approach that's going to be specific to your situation, because everybody's situation is different. When they collect Social Security, right? How's your health? Are you getting a pension? Are you not getting a pension? Do you want to leave money to the kids? Do you not want to leave money to the kids, right? There's all kinds of things. Are you charitable? Are you not charitable? Do you give to your church? All these different things come into play when you start to put together a strategy where you're going to try to maximize every area of your financial plan, including the tax strategies. And that comes in different shapes and sizes for each individual investor.
All right, well, let's give that number, take a very short break. If you want to get that holistic approach, look at every single thing going on in your financial life, Brian is the man to trust. Let's give that number.
Yeah, our Right Track Retirement Review, folks, take advantage of it. We worked really hard to put together a very thorough, complimentary, no obligation review for you, to where we're going to dive in and help you understand the 5 key areas of planning. Number 1, what's your income strategy? 2, your tax strategy. 3, your investment strategy, your health strategy, and your estate strategy. When you come in, we'll sit down for about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll start to understand your situation, and we'll start to help you identify any potential red flags. The reason I put together the Right Track Retirement Review was because most people don't know if they're doing the right things. If you weren't doing the right things, if you were not on the right track, when would be a good time to know? Call 1-888-382-1298 and schedule your Right Track Retirement Review today.
Absolutely. There is Literally no cost, no obligation at all. There's the number again, 888-382-1298, and there's the QR code to get you easily to our landing page. Get your calendar ready. We're going to get you an appointment to come and meet Brian and his amazing team at Secure Money Advisors. We'll be right back with more.
See, everybody can tell you how to invest your money. There's not a lot of people out there and a lot of firms that can teach you how to use your money. Most people will also tell you that they're scared. And the reason they're scared is because they're afraid of running out of money.
The last thing you want to do is have a really good job into your 60s, retire, and be looking for work again in your late 70s.
The average person might say, well, a good portfolio would be a good mix of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. No. A good portfolio is all designed around the 5 key areas: income, taxes, investments, healthcare, and legacy planning.
We're not just product pickers here. What we do best here is we build retirement plans.
9 out of 10 people, when they walk through the door, would ask us, we just want to know if we're on the right track. And I always say, if you're not on the right track, when would be a good time to know it? Probably now.
People, can actually see a vision once we start to really build out their plan.
This is about you. If you're not getting what you need, and you feel that when you walk out of the advisor's office, it's time to get a second opinion. And you can't get a second opinion from the person that gave you the first opinion. The difference at Secure Money Advisors, as a fiduciary firm, we help you manage the risk, build the income, and give you the retirement you dreamed of.
All right, welcome back. We were talking about not having to take that risk.
Yeah.
You go to a casino with your money, great, but when you're 70 years old and you don't even hear from your financial planner of where your money is, this is a terrible place to be.
Yeah.
And this is what your kind of mission in life is, to get the word out. It doesn't have to be that way.
No, it doesn't. I mean, and really, I would say that, there's the planning part, but there's the servicing part too.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they sit down with somebody and they put together a plan, or what they think is a plan.
Yeah.
And then they never see these people again. There's no reviews. One of the questions I always ask is, during your annual reviews with your advisors, tell me what strategies you guys are putting in place as you are reaching the age of 72 now, or what strategies are you putting in place now that you're reaching age 65 and you're coming up on Medicare? What strategies are you putting in place now that you're going to be taking Social Security and you're going to have to be pulling money out of your accounts? And they'll say, we just don't talk about those things, or we don't get together on an annual basis.
Or I don't even hear from them. That was my experience for 20 years. I forgot who even had it.
Correct. And a lot of people are in that situation.
Yeah,
and
it's terrible.
The good news is this. I mean, as bad as my industry has been, there's a lot of good in it too. Yeah. And there's more and more advisors today, men and women, that are taking the approach that we're taking with trying to educate people on the right ways to do it.
Becoming independent,
becoming
like you are.
Becoming independent, it's a big thing. I mean, when I was out in the public educating, I've been educating people for the last 20 plus years. And when I was out there doing educational events, there was nobody out there doing them. I mean, now you could probably go out to dinner on a financial advisor
every week,
5 to 6 nights a week. In
free dinner.
Yeah, so, and it's great to see, because at least people now are having information, right? And information that can help them. But the other problem with that is now there's too much noise.
Right.
And now they go, well, what's the right way? What's not the right way? Should I buy an annuity? Should I be in the market? Are annuities good? Are they bad? Should I have a life insurance policy? And the reality is, there's no bad investment. The question is, what is it that you need your money to do for you? So for example, let's suppose somebody said, I have X amount of dollars and I need to make sure that I get guaranteed income for the rest of my life. And if I die, I need to make sure that my wife is going to continue to get guaranteed income for the rest of her life. Well, if you just go through the process of elimination and you say, okay, well, where could I get an investment product that would give me a guaranteed stream of income? So you look around, you go, okay, well, is there anything at the bank? Well, a checking, savings, or money market, that's going to keep my money safe, but that's not going to guarantee me any type of income, because if I start pulling money out of those and they go to zero, I'm out.
Yeah.
Well, what about a stock account? Could I buy a stock account? Well, if you buy growth stocks, meaning There's no dividend being paid, right? Meaning a growth stock, I buy the stock for $50 and it grows to $60, right? Well, if it's going up and I take money out, maybe you're going to be okay. But if I'm taking money out and the market's not cooperating, I could run out of money and I'm not going to get a guaranteed lifetime income there.
Right.
So you go, okay, well, if that's not going to solve the problem, well, what about annuities? Well, there's a lot of different types of annuities. There's fixed, there's index, there's variable, there's immediate. Well, you could do it with two of them. You could do it with a fixed and you could do it with an index to where you could get guaranteed income for the rest of your life. And if you die, your spouse can get guaranteed income. Oh, and by the way, when your spouse dies, any balance in the account is paid to your beneficiaries, so you never lose control of your money. But the annuity is the only product in the marketplace, right? Because the insurance companies do something better than no other companies, and that is they mitigate risk better than anybody, right? Now, if you think about this, Rebecca, we insure our home, we insure our cars, we insure our health, but nobody insures their number one most important thing, and that's their income.
I know.
How could you not insure some of your income?
How can the American public school system not even teach us any of this? And I know I say this every week, but it drives me crazy. Well, a fifth grader could understand this.
A fifth grader could understand it. Now, here's what drives me crazy. The big box retailers have scared people away from things like annuities, right?
Right, because they don't want you to get that.
They don't want you to get them. They don't want you to get them. You want to know why? Because fixed and indexed annuities that guarantee income, they can't charge a fee on it.
Gotcha.
They can't charge a fee on it. So I literally went to my old firm and I said, why are we not doing this?
Yeah.
You know what the answer was? We'll cannibalize the revenue of the practice. Holy smokes. Are we more worried about our clients or are we more worried about the revenue of the practice?
I think we know the answer.
Yes, and that's very frustrating because what they've done, it's misinformation, right? We see it everywhere now, right?
Trickery.
It's trickery. So people go, oh, no, you'll lose control of your money. There's high fees. There's all this kind of stuff. There's not. Not in these very specific types.
Right.
And this is why I'm so passionate about educating people about them, because they need to understand these tools exist for a reason. They're designed to provide you with peace of mind and security. Are they right for everybody? No. But if you're in a situation where you are going to need guaranteed income from you or your spouse, it might be a tool that you want to look at.
Absolutely.
Right? And I've had multiple people over the years go, oh my God, you just said the word annuity, I have heartburn.
Yeah.
And I said, fine, fair enough. But let me educate you first.
Yeah.
Really? That's the way it works? Really? That's the way it works?
Yeah.
How am I going to tell my friends I bought an annuity?
Don't tell them. It's none of their business.
How am I going to tell my friends I bought an annuity? You know what? The biggest skeptics have become the biggest fans.
That's right.
The biggest skeptics have become the biggest fans. So folks, take advantage of our Right Track Retirement Review. We can show you how to do so many things with your current investment strategy. We can show you how to maximize your income. We could show you how to reduce your taxes. We could show you how to properly put together the proper mix of investments. Show you how to protect your money from a health event. And more importantly, keep Uncle Sam from taking the money that you wound up working your entire life for when the good Lord decides to take you home and you wind up giving it to your kids or whoever you're going to be giving it to. Take advantage of our Right Track Retirement Review. It's very thorough. It's complimentary. There's no obligation, but you've got to do your part. Please do not procrastinate on this. You cannot get a second opinion from the person that gave you the first opinion. So call us today and schedule that complimentary Right Track Retirement Review. Call 1-888-382-1298. Again, it's 1-888-382-1298.
And now with technology, you see that QR code. You could just aim your phone camera at it. It'll bring you right to the landing page. Again, we save about 10 slots each week for each show. We want to make sure you get an appointment with Brian and his amazing team. So have your calendar ready and give us a call. More with Secure Money, how to keep your money secure, right after this.
If I could help you increase your income, if I could help you pay less taxes, if I could help you potentially maximize the returns of your investments while reducing risk, reducing fees, if I could help you prepare for a health event, or more importantly, when the good Lord decides to take you home, to make sure that the money you've accumulated over your lifetime goes to your family and to your charities rather than the IRS, would that be worth the time to come in and get a second opinion?
All right, welcome back to On the Money with Secure Money. I'm Rebecca Powers, and I'm so happy to be part of the team with Secure Money Advisors. And Brian Quaranta, you started this years ago, more than 20 years ago, and you worked for the big box. You knew what you didn't want.
Yeah.
And then you created this wonderful independent team.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the philosophy of the holistic approach.
Yeah.
Every person is different. And you sleep well at night knowing you're not giving people products that they don't need.
Yeah, well, I think that was the most important thing is how do you get the client to sleep well at night,
yes.
right? And then how do you sleep well at night as an advisor, right?
Exactly.
So, and at the end of the day, number one, you got to choose strategies and products that solve the problem of the client, right? So, and at the big box firms, you can't do that because there's usually just a menu of products and services that you can use. And sometimes those really don't solve the problem, but if that's all you have, you're gonna try to fit a square peg into a round hole, and we just don't want that in financial planning.
Right.
So one of the things that I'm really proud about that we've done at Secure Money Advisors is create a culture there that is truly there to help and service each and every individual that comes into contact with us. And there's so many people, I can't tell you how many people over the years that I've sat down with that we went through their stuff and I gave them a lot of clarity about it, but I was very honest with them and told them that they were doing the right things and there was nothing I could do at this point. And I said, you know, if anything ever changes, come on back, but I think you're in a good place right now and I think you're positioned the best that you can be. So they said, I wasn't expecting that. You didn't try to sell me anything. No, I'm here to help you solve a problem. There's no problem to solve. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Do you know that year after year after year, those people, when they're talking to a friend or a family member that needs help, you want to know who they refer them to?
You.
Not their advisor, me.
You see?
So
it pays to be good.
So at the end of the day, the culture that we've created at Secure Money Advisors is one of, number one, and most importantly, listening and understanding. Number two is helping educate people on, okay, here's where you're at. Let's talk about where you're at and why it's built this way. Let's talk about the pros and let's talk about the cons, right? And then let's talk about where we could go, right? So here's where you could go, here's the pros and cons, all right? Do you like A, do you like B, right? I like B, okay. Well, here are the turn-by-turn directions to actually make B happen.
Yeah.
And when people decide that they want to onboard with us and they want to hire with us, we have an entire team that onboards them. Moving their money from their firm where they're at is so easy because we do it for them.
Right.
You know, a lot of people are scared. They're like, well, do I need to talk to the advisor? Half of these advisors don't even know when the money leaves. It cracks me up.
They probably don't even know your name. No, sorry, that's rude.
they don't even know the money's left, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, one of the things that we really, really work hard with is to make sure that people are crystal clear about what it means to have a secure and safe retirement. Because the most important thing you can give to yourself and your family is a secure and safe retirement.
I'll tell you what's not crystal clear for before I switched was the fees. You know, I thought, oh, maybe I'm paying 1.5%, but when y'all called and really looked into it, it's more like 3%, and that can really take a toll on your savings.
It can, yeah, and the question is, what are you paying for, right? I mean, if you're paying 3%, why are you paying 3%? Are you getting something
What's
in return?
the service?
Yeah, what's the service? What are you getting in return for that, right? So if you're gonna pay a fee, the question is, what are you going to get in return? You know, one of the things that that we have is a 411 client servicing process. And what we try to do each and every year is we try to do 4 individual client events. And each of those events, some of them are fun. Like we've had this year so far, we've had our Shred-It event. Don't ask me why this is a big one, but we ran a Shred-It truck.
Okay.
A big Shred-It truck, and everybody comes in and they shred all their paperwork, their tax documents, their, you know, all the
That's funny.
Stuff they don't need. But our 411 servicing model is so that we are in touch with our clients often. Every week I send a weekly email explaining different strategies that they can use, different tax strategies, different investment strategies, because all of our clients are at different ages. So people like to know, hey, if you're coming up on RMDs, here's some things you need to think about. You know, you can do QCDs, which are called qualified charitable distributions, to where, you know, if you're already giving money to charity, rather than taking money out of your bank account and giving it to charity, you can take it from your IRA, and as long as you tell the IRS that you've done it to give it to charity, you don't have to pay any taxes on it. So that's a great strategy.
That's awesome.
And every week I do a video where we update them. We do Medicare at our office. So we've really tried to, we do estate planning. So we've tried to create a one-stop shop that makes it easy so that all of your financial professionals, your Medicare advisor, your estate planning advisor, tax advisor, your financial advisor, everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times, especially in the estate planning world, where you have the financial advisor and you have the estate planning attorney, they're on opposite pages. I've seen people disinherited because the financial advisor had let's say there was a recent situation.
Like an ex-wife as a beneficiary.
An ex-wife as a beneficiary. But the estate planning documents had the new wife as the beneficiary. Well, guess what? The courts don't care what the will says. The courts care what the beneficiary document says.
Oh, really?
And that was overlooked. Your beneficiary document overrides all of your legal documents.
Really?
It trumps everything.
Wow. And then you have to go to probate court, which can be a whole nother nightmare.
It's a mess. The courts are going to say whatever the beneficiary document says, that's where the money needs to go.
Gotcha.
People have literally shared with me at educational events that they've been disinherited by their own father because their father got remarried, left a new spouse as the beneficiary. When the spouse received that money, the spouse legally owns that money now. And now, in this case, she changed the beneficiaries to her kids.
See, I didn't even have to guess.
Yeah, right. Folks, don't let this kind of stuff happen to you, because these are the things that a lot of advisors and advising firms don't dig in with, right? These are the things that we want to make sure that we check. And each year we've got a checklist that we go through with our clients to make sure that every I is dotted and every T is crossed. When I created the Right Track Retirement Review, that system that I've created, it was out of the fact that every time I would meet people, they would say to me, am I on the right track? Am I making the right moves? Am I doing the right things? So I got very clear about what it meant to be making the right moves. What does the retirement strategy really need to look like? What components is it made up of? Well, it's made up of 5 key areas. It's your income strategy. It's your tax strategy, your investment strategy, your healthcare strategy, your estate planning strategy. If you have those 5 areas handled, now you're getting closer to having a well thought out retirement plan. So I want you to take advantage of this complimentary review. Okay, it is complimentary. You're not going to be sold anything. You're not going to be pressured to do anything. You're going to come in, you're going to sit down with myself and my team, and we're going to go over your current situation. We're going to look at what's working, what's not working, what could be improved, and what might not be improved. We're going to take a deep dive with you, and we're going to build a few reports out. We're going to give you a Social Security and income maximization report. We're going to give you a risk report. And these reports are going to give you the information you need, the mathematical black and white data that you need to make a good, informed decision. So call us today. Don't procrastinate. Pick up the phone for your Right Track Retirement Review. It's 1-888-382-1298. Again, 1-888-382-1298.
And there's always the QR code that you can use easily with the camera on your phone. And no matter what, you will get a complimentary copy of Brian's book. Actually, before you even come to meet us, right when you call, you will get that book sent. We'll even pay for your shipping and handling. No pressure at all. Thanks again so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again next week.